Okay, so I have a couch, but I'm back on my bed because I'm reading. And my fans are in here. Okay, so a reader like me has a lot of books, and you've noticed that the book I reference the most is probably Man's Search for Meaning, Dr. Viktor Frankl, although I reference Harry Potter quite a bit, and occasionally The Great Gatsby, even though I don't even like that book. I don't know if I've referenced that yet, actually, but I do on occasion. Okay, but of all the many books I own, many of which I haven't read, and all the many books I've read, I do actually have a favorite. It's To Kill a Mockingbird. This, Google said, was a mockingbird. It's probably more of a sparrow. Weigh in, folks. Mockingbird or sparrow? I don't know, but when I Googled mockingbird, because I don't know anything about birds, that was the prettiest one. And the guy at Doc Holiday did an excellent job, and that location is generally very painful, but it wasn't. His name's Greg. Oh, that's not on me, that's on the phone. Okay, got it. Okay, so this is To Kill a Mockingbird. And I haven't read it for a while. I have like 5 copies. I love this book. But I just read a line that said, I could not help receiving the impression I was being cheated out of something when Scouts start school. Out of what I knew not. Yet I did not believe the 12 years of unrelieved boredom was exactly what the state had in mind for me. Well, Scout, that is exactly what the state has in mind for you. So, I'm not really going to do a movie/book review on To Kill a Mockingbird because the movie is excellent. Gregory Peck is excellent. They can never do a remake. The movie is excellent. But I will do a compare and contrast with To Kill a Mockingbird and Go Set a Watchman. Go Set a Watchman, Harper Lee actually wrote before To Kill a Mockingbird, but published long after, and it's set when Scout is an adult, when she herself is in college in New York. Okay, Harper Lee, for those who don't know, is actually a woman. She recently died. She was in her 90s. She was one of the first female lawyers in the country, and she had to jump through a lot of hoops. She broke a lot of glass ceilings. She shattered a lot of glass for the rest of us. She is literally one of my absolute heroes. Some of the stuff that she writes is very deep. I relate most to a very obscure character named Adolphus Raymond. But Miss Maddie Atkinson says some of the most deep things. Like, some people are so busy worrying about the next life that they don't pay attention to this one. You can look down the street and see the results. That is exactly how it works. That's why so many people kill and die in the name of religion. But Go Set a Watchman, I was hesitant to read because of all the reviews where Atticus is painted as a racist. And I did finally read it, and here's the thing is, yes, he did go to a KKK meeting, which surprised me not at all, because I thought Atticus is the type of guy who's not going to hate just because he's told to. He wants to know who he's hating and why. That is exactly why he went to a KKK meeting. He wanted to know who was behind the masks. She went to a meeting. It wasn't a meeting, but it was a council meeting. And the man speaking was very racist and saying horrible things. And her father and her boyfriend were there, and it upset her so much that she went back to her old house, which was now an ice cream shop, and she ended up throwing up. I think Scout in the book completely overreacted. Atticus is a product of his generation. We are a product of ours. Scout and Harper Lee were way ahead of their times. Way ahead of their times. And did Atticus say, I don't want a car full of Negroes? Yeah, he did. he's a product of his generation. My parents are in their 70s, and we have a kind of a strained relationship because they don't believe depression is real. Can I fault them for that? I really can't. They're a product of their generation. They really have no way of knowing that I'm not making it up, that I'm not doing it for attention, that I can't just choose to be happy. But they think that they are just choosing to be happy and that I'm choosing to be miserable. They're a product of their generation. Atticus is a product of his generation. So when people paint him as a racist, they must remember that racism being, what's the word I'm looking for? Political correctness. The pendulum is always swinging between being complete assholes to each other and completely unkind without realizing it, and then being in the middle where you're watching each other's words, and then going on to the other end where you're maybe politically correct, but you're emotionally a complete asshole. And if someone says the word Negro, you're like, oh, you're a racist. And they're like, how am I racist? I'm 70 years old. That's what we say. So these are the words people have been raised with. Atticus is a product of his generation. We are products of ours. The pendulum never stops swinging.